العالمين الصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. While we were having informal talk, something came about non-Muslim da'wah, and another formula is called SAFE, to invite others. So SAFE formula means search, accept, follow, and evaluate. So this is the SAFE formula for non-Muslims, because they have to know where we came from, why we are here, and where we are going. This is very personal to each person. So it's something, don't say come to Islam, tell them to find the truth, and that will be enough. Okay, now going into why community development is important in Islam. This is the kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat linnas. This is the verse. Then this is about feeling for others, caring for others. لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه. Okay. How about this one? Really important. You do it and see the results. If we follow the Quran and Sunnah guidance, our life would be so sweet. We will have a taste of paradise in dunya. This is the one I have mentioned before, khairun nas man yanfa'un nas. In fact, for husbands it says khiyarukum ila nisaikum. The best of you are those who are best to their wives, so they need to certify us. Okay? Ali radhiyallahu anhu said something. His words are so wise, subhanallah. He's not wahi, but he has been enlightened by wahi. It's really something very cornerstone of Islamic community development value. G, anybody remembers what is J? Justice. Then E, equality. Then empowerment, togetherness, and action. Okay. So at the end of the day, and what's PPP? First is problem solving, then prospect making. So we deal with the negative first, neutralize it, and then go to the positive, and then enable them to participate in decisions that affect them. Okay? So if you have questions, you can remember, you can question me at any time. You don't wait until the end. When it comes, you just interrupt me. My thought chain will not be interrupted because thought chain has been reflected here. Okay? Now this is done. I'm going to show you from hadith about project. Rasulullah says project evaluation, poverty alleviation project. A hadith analyzed on a project format. Okay? Microfinancing project for poverty alleviation, or self-employment project financing in favor of the case of the poor from Ansar. Okay? This is the Arabic part. This is the English part. So he begged. What did he do? Here. From here, what do we learn? Lessons to be learned. Investigate the status, economic status of the beggar. Okay? Then assess possible contribution to a microfinancing project. So he wasn't just doing it, saying anything. He wanted to know where he stood economically because he's begging. So let's pick up the lessons, and they are all lessons given here. So he was doing auction. Can you see? There was an asset the poor person had. He didn't give them alms. The begging means you give charity. He wanted to protect his dignity and said, do you have any asset? Yes, I have. Bring it. Then he auctioned the asset. He got 2 dirhams for it. Then what is the lesson? Access to financing, cash. And called community to contribute in that process. He was actually the facilitator. Okay? He was not giving anything, but he was giving something more important than cash. Okay? So these are the 2 dirhams. So he said, immediate need and investment by an X for investment. So income generating project. But his immediate need was not ignored. He has to eat with his family. So just look at how Prophet ﷺ divinely guided guidance to the person. Okay? So first his food need, and then investment to make his future income come to him and he can protect his dignity. Okay? Let's see the lessons. Rationalizing the expenses. So this is the professional analysis from the project development point of view. Satisfying the basic needs to survive. And then identifying project equipment. Don't call it X. It's an equipment that will earn him income. So his contribution was not just facilitating, he fixed the handle himself. Okay? And said, firewood, collect firewood and sell it. He's actually giving a business guidance. Okay? And say, also, do not let me see you for a fortnight. So he said, this fortnight you work and report back. So, community development management, leadership, requires not just leave them alone, but follow up, monitor, to see if there is anything that needs to be further advised. So here is the lesson. There was a subsidy because he provided the handle, and the technical assistance which said what he should do and how, and implementation period and follow-up. Look at that. So, in other words, project terminology is used to analyze the hadith in terms of a community development project like this. It is a community development project, but to understand it in terms of current community development jargon, this is how it has been. See, firewood and the X. So, he came when he had 10 dirhams. See, he started with 2. Lessons, assessing micro project impact. How much earning there was, requiring reporting of the micro project impact. So there is impact and reporting of the impact. Now, package of service for economic insertion of the active poor, investigating on the status, assistance to constitute his project capital. So he created capital by the home asset that was auctioned off to create that capital of 50% of which was invested, providing support for access to his project financing, rationalizing budget allocation, satisfying basic needs, identifying project equipment, subsidizing, technical assistance, project implementation period, follow-up project, and impact and reporting. Can you see? Unless you have that eye, and you all have the ability, but you need to look at things with Quran Sunnah eyes, then you will see all these. It all makes sense to you now, but it didn't come automatically, because we need to look at Hadith and Quran like this. Then we learn how to solve today's problems. So, strategic lessons. Operational assistance, you can see, you can read. He was begging because he couldn't eat. And the whole thing was turned around in 2 weeks by the project developer and guide, Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So he didn't give food or money to solve his immediate problem, but despite the family being hungry. So we have lots of lessons to learn from the Prophet's example. So he took this community development project lead personally, what is called integrated assistance operation from the micro project. So identification, fundraising, final assessment and reporting. Look at that. This is not something I prepared, but I collected from an excellent, so I always use it in community development. Because this provides the source, the authentic source of Quran Sunnah to guide us to do our work today. Because this seemed simple thing, but it is not so simple. It's professional, it's structured, you use all the jargons and see it fits. So look at this this part. Read this about who should administer and run and manage and supervise a project. So microfinance project or poverty alleviation project, self-financing project, self-reliance project needs people who are wise, who are intelligent, who are caring, who have the right ideas and right advice. Then you achieve it. You can see community contribution from 1 dirham and then bidding to 2 dirhams. Just pick up the process. Pick up how bit by bit he established this person on his own economic feet. He didn't have to beg anymore. It's all current terminology used to analyze this hadith. So contribution of the community, contribution of the beneficiary and contribution of the Prophet ﷺ. So it's classified again. Whatever happened picked up 3 distinct contributions that made up the whole project. Strategic lesson, high project capitalization. Social intermediation by satisfying the most basic need. So it's basically saying you should identify like that. These are the summary of the actual hadith in Abu Dawud. I'm leaving all these files here, so anyone who is interested can collect because they are in this. So now I will go into the community development how. So I showed actual example of how. Now I go into theory, from practice to theory rather than theory to practice. Okay? And as you can see, I'm always trying to connect with the original source of our faith, solving problems of today of any kind by social projects, by us. We have a lot of ability.